Okay. Hi, good day to everyone. Hi, this is Crystal Williams with Beauty for Ashes, Conversations with Crystal. Today we're joined by Jocelyn Route. She's the councilwoman for Bladensburg town, the town I live in, and I had the pleasure of meeting her back in September when we had elections, and I wanted to meet the candidates and to see exactly what is their platform. So I want to just welcome Ms. Jocelyn Route here today to the table.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
No,
Crystal.
no problem, no problem. Like I said, this is just a time, right now we're in a very crucial time with COVID-19 coming into the community. And I felt that it was important for us to actually talk to those who are in on the forefront. Even though you may not be a healthcare worker, I've seen you out in the community. I've seen you giving out food. I've seen you talking to neighbors. And I thought that that was important to actually hear from someone who's actually out there doing the work, as they say, the hands and feet of our community. So I just want to take some time to me, this is a more serious topic than some of the things that are going on. So I just wanted to make sure that we first get to know you, and then also exactly where you're going with your platform. So Jocelyn, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your family? Tell us about your family life.
Sure. So I'm Jocelyn. I am in my 30s and I am a single parent of 5. I had
Wow.
5 boys.
Ooh.
It is hard. It is hard having 5 boys. So my boys range from 6, that's my youngest, and my oldest is 14. And so I actually became involved as a foster parent about 13 years ago, where I have just chosen just to give back to those who are vulnerable and really at risk. And so I got into this 13 years ago. I've had lots of children come and go, get, reunited. But my 3 older boys, they've been with me for about 2 years, and we're going to look into permanency. And so that means either I will be adopting them or doing guardianship. So that's a little bit about me.
Wow. If you don't mind, I know some because I didn't know that about you. I knew that I've seen you always with kids. I just
Yes.
assumed that they were your natural kids, not necessarily adoption and
Yes.
fostering. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. And so you don't have any natural kids of your own?
No, my two youngest are my
Okay.
own children that I birthed, and they're 8
Okay.
and 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. And you
Yeah.
said 13 years ago. Now, so it sounds like you got more involved in that before you actually had kids yourself. So
Yes.
tell me how, I mean, that's kind of interesting. I'm a single woman, never had kids. Even though I think about adoption, once again, it's one of those things where I just, as a single person, I don't
Right.
necessarily want to make that step. So tell me a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Okay. So it was my last year. I was working as a mentor in the community. I've really always worked in the community. I was going to Howard University for psychology, just to pick up, a side job to support a
Yeah.
college student. I thought I could be giving back, and I got hired as a mentor back 13 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. They were actually paying for mentors. There were lots of federal programs that paid for mentors, and so I was one of them. And I got attached to this one cute girl named Renetta, and boy, we spent so much time together. And I say 15 years ago because she was the reason I was her mentor for 2 years. So I graduated from Howard with my degree in psychology. I moved on to get my master's in social work, and I was still working with Renetta, and we we just hit it off. She was coming over every weekend, with the permission of her social worker. Every weekend turned into Thursday to Tuesday, and it was just gradual. It was just, we were like siblings, that she respected, and it was like I was raising her. And so at that time, her social worker said, at that time, Miss Smith, Miss Smith, you ever thought about being a foster parent? Because really, Renetta's spending a lot of time at your home. Well, at that time, I was living in an apartment.
Okay.
And it was like, Miss, we want to be able to support you and support her. And I just think it's natural. And Renetta was like, I would love for you to be my mother.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa. So went through the classes and, became a foster parent. Renetta ended up moving back with her family. And so I was just like, okay, I didn't think I was going to have any children,
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is fine. This is cool. It wasn't a small child where I have to sit and like read books and stuff. It was like, how to fix noodles. Like, you good? I'm going to run out real quick. I'll be back. It was, and so that was my first stab at motherhood, which was with teens.
Wow.
And I loved it. I loved it.
Wow, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And we do it and we don't even realize we're doing it. Because I have some young people underneath me too, never thinking that I'm fostering them, just more so just being an influence. So that's great. That's great. And so the other thing that I heard I heard you say in that, I know, well, a little bit transition. You did that, you did the mentoring work and then you transitioned to foster work. But I know that you're not doing that necessarily now. You're doing a whole nother job kind of now, right?
Yeah. Something new.
You're also holding a seat on the council. So, tell us a little bit about that political life. I know that, tell me how you got into politics, first of all.
So really, this is my first stab at politics.
It's okay.
So I'm a social worker by trade. So I graduated from Howard University. I write policy for the District of Columbia. And so I've always been in around social services and needs and, working in different platforms. But really, I just became involved with just coming out to the meetings and seeing that there were deficits in the town of Bladensburg and just really joining committees and just being involved in just really changing. Because in my head, I'm thinking if I could use all of my community engagement and involvement skills for the District of Columbia, I sure enough know I can do it for the town of Bladensburg.
Absolutely.
So I became involved and I just started meeting people. And then I was approached by our now mayor, Mayor James, and she was like, I think you'll be an excellent council member. You ever thought? I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about it. She was like, no, it'll be fine. I'll help you. And I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And it was, so it's natural. So for me, it's natural. I want to advocate for long-term programs. I want to make sure that we have a sense of community where it's, this is our community. This is us. So that's, and being a single mother, I wanted, programs and services for my children. Those are the things I ran on. And I just wanted, some transparent government leadership that's able to work for us and we can see where it is. Some data-driven decisions when it comes to budgeting, looking at the numbers, and they're really helping us, the community. Bladensburg is a wonderful place to live. It is, it's a moderate town. We have our own volunteer fire department. We have our own public safety. We have our own police department. We have a post office right in our town. We have green places. We have a high school. We have 7 schools. I mean, this is a thriving community. And and if I'm, as a homeowner, if I'm going to raise my children here, why not make this place better? With joining businesses and, just being a community.
Okay, well, great. That's great. I mean, that is definitely a sincere drive to actually see change when it's actually, personal to you and everything. And I know that right now we are in a very, like I said, like I said, we've had some food drives in our community.
Yes.
And one of the things that I honestly can say that breaks my heart on a normal basis is seeing we having such to me, a short time of adjustment from, to me, I guess it started in April, like April 1st, when COVID kind of like really shut things
really
down,
hit, right.
into now. And to see so many people in food banks and needing food. And I'm like, oh my, like we are a community that is, I mean, we are literally one meal away from starvation. And
That's
I'm
right.
like, that really hurt my heart, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I really wanted to reach out to someone and that, like I said, that's out there seeing the devastation. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing when you were out there handing food to the people? Okay.
Yeah, so this all started because as a council member, I received a couple calls from a couple of residents that I've grown to know throughout being in the neighborhood. And these are some hardworking people, a father and a mother, married, living in a household, have, your typical American dream, 3 children, father's an entrepreneur, mom is an hourly salaried worker, working in the restaurant business.
Right.
When that family called me and said, Miss Route, we need help. We put in an application. We've never had food stamps. We put in an application for food stamps. We put in an application for unemployment, but we were told that because I'm a 1099 employee, I can't get those benefits yet. We need help. I don't, we were already barely making it before Miss Route, but is there anything that you can do? When I heard that on my phone, I reached out to my colleagues, Marilyn Blunt, who was sworn in the same day I was, and she said, Councilmember Route, I'm hearing the same things from our seniors. I called Mayor James. Mayor James said, I just left somebody's house that just got laid off. I mean, this is a hard-working man. He was in tears. So she went to go purchase him some food that night. Okay. And so we all got together and we said, no person in our town is going to go hungry. So what we did, we got on the phone. We started calling and emailing all of our federal partners, our local partners, and we were able to sustain a partnership with two 501c3s. The first is Victory Church, Victory Center Church, and they partner with us, and who partnered with them was Trader Joe's. And what we're not doing, we're not giving, a bunch of junk. We want to give our families wholesome, whole grain food. We want to be able to really fill them up, not the bottom of the barrel. We also partner with Capital Area Food Bank, who gave, at first they gave us produce. I mean, fresh produce straight out. And they partner with Amazon Prime. And so we not only wanted to bring just food to the town, we wanted to bring quality food, because we wanted to make sure that our residents are being fed. We also coupled that with a resource packet where we looked at all of the resources in the state of Maryland and put them in one document that shows daily food places where unemployment benefits, mental health resources, physical health resources. Because what we want is, when we come out this COVID thing, because this COVID is only going to be temporary. When we come out, we want to be a stronger, better Bladensburg.
Yeah, wow. Thank you once again. I mean, for just all the hard work that you and all those involved do. I really appreciate it, definitely. And I know, and this is really because of the fact that COVID is coming alongside the census. And to me, the census is when you basically are able to allocate money to a community. And so, if you don't mind elaborating, tell us how important the census is to a council member as well as a member of Bladensburg yourself.
Yeah. So I honestly, I did not understand how important the census was until I actually got in this seat.
Okay.
And so as a person with a master's level education, I did not know that the census dictates everything, all financial support that local towns, counties, states get. They want to be, the federal government chooses to count everybody over the course of 10 years. And all of the monies and services for our roads, for our schools, for our education, for our substance use services, mental health services, every public services is being paid for by a certain ratio of a number of people that are essentially in a house. Correct. So for instance, if Jocelyn Route only says that it's Jocelyn Route living in her home, but I have 5 children, over the course of 10 years, my children, my rows are only going to be counted for one person. But if I'm reporting that Jocelyn Route has 5 children plus Jocelyn, then they will be able to have those seats in our school system for my children. Our roads will be able to be paved a little bit more because there's more people using our sidewalks and roads. Correct. And I didn't understand that until I got in this seat. And I'm like, whoa, this census thing is kind of important.
Yes, definitely. And I know as a member, I've already filled mine out. How about yourself? Have you guys?
I did.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely made sure I did that. I mean, I don't mind doing it because, you know, it to me is important to do anyway, to be counted. I mean, that's scriptural. Right. You know what I'm saying? They counted the numbers in the scripture.
Yeah, so, they did count the numbers in the Bible.
Okay. So I know that most of census is census2020.org. Is it org or gov?
gov.gov.
Gov. Okay. So if you didn't for some reason receive it in the mail, please go to census2020.org and actually be accounted and make your community important. That's very important to us all. So tell us, what do you see happening in the future for Ms. Route and her career in politics? And also, not to mention, this is really huge. And I'm telling you, when I saw you get sworn in, I was like, that sorority you serve under,
yay!
Support in numbers, you understand? Yes. I mean, that was it. The blue and gold is what you
are. Sigma Gamma Rho. Yes.
Ages, and the thing is, and I'm pretty sure that you're not necessarily always communicating with the top level, but they came out to support you. You understand? They believe in that sisterhood, and I thought that was so great to see. So I know you got great things coming down the line in that area, but tell us a little bit about your political aspirations. Do you have any?
So it's funny that you asked this, because I was reminded when I told my mother and my father that I was running for a political seat. You know, they were like, well, you know, when you were younger, you were like in love with Maxine Waters. And I'm like, yeah, I remember I was. So I remember meeting, it was the days of Bill Clinton. He was trying to get elected, and I'm dating myself. I remember meeting Maxine Waters and Mark Wrigley Thomas. Okay. And I remember meeting these 2 African-American people, young and a lot of oomph and, you know, just vibrant in South Central Los Angeles, where I grew up. And I remember singing, I was in a choir for my church, and we had sang, and Maxine stopped me and was like, you did really good. I said, thank you. Like, you know, I mean, she was just so down to earth, you know? And so I watched her as I matriculated in Los Angeles. And so I don't know, given Maxine Waters and who she is, and she reminds me of who I am, just, you know, a strong advocate. You know, I'm thinking with all of my things, maybe I'll do something on the state, maybe the federal level. I'm not sure. I just know right now, I just want to serve that, like right now.
Okay, good. So once again, I thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy woman and all, and I mean, just to hear your heart, and you know, when I spoke to you back in September, I was like, no, I got to put my support behind you. I see you doing great things, okay? And I'm here for you. And I told you, anytime you need anything, call me. I will be there. I've loved serving alongside you in Blazeburg community. It's been my pleasure, and as my pleasure to talk to you today. So thank you once again for your time, okay?
You are welcome. And thank you for just listening and really hearing us, and then coming back out to support the things that we were doing. You were actively in our Thanksgiving food drive.
Yes.
Like, thank you for being a part of the community. We need more community members like you. So I want to say thank you.
Oh,
and it's my pleasure. And if you need anything
great.
from me as well, I'm here.
All right. Thank